Eyes of a SWAMI. Interior ashram hall, evening. Everyone is gathered on their mats for active meditation class, led by NIrja. He sits cross-legged, waiting for everyone to arrive.
Are you ready? Okay. Today, class, we're going to do a meditation technique that I like to call cycle of life. It works like this.
NIrja sits down opposite David.
We'll sit opposite our partners. I will inhale through my nose and exhale through my mouth. David, in this case, will do the exact opposite of me. He'll be exhaling from the mouth while I'm inhaling through the nose. You'll fall into sync. The whole while, maintain eye contact with your partner. Look away as little as possible. Whole time looking in their eyes. Okay? Now we'll all sit in two lines. Whenever I say switch, one of us will get up and move to the next person. We'll do this until we've all been partners. And start.
Liv is paired with Kara first. Everyone starts breathing deeply, in and out. They smile and laugh at first, feeling awkward, but they never break eye contact. The more they breathe, the more they get into rhythm. She finds herself getting lost in the deep, engulfing blue of Kara's eyes. Liv appears slightly enamored, noticing for the first time how truly beautiful they are.
Breathe faster, deep, quick breaths.
NIrja shows them by example how their breaths should be. The breathing in the ashram becomes louder and quicker.
Switch.
Liv moves on to the next person, Anna. They do the same thing for a few more breaths.
If you want, you can hold each other's hands.
It's so well timed. Liv had just been feeling the urge to do so. This is strange, as she isn't a touchy person at all. Anna and Liv grab each other's hands, maintaining strong eye contact. Liv looks for something, curious now at what she can find with the prolonged staring. She suddenly gets too lost in her own head. Her body becomes tense.
Switch.
Liv is with David now. They exchange a smile and hold hands, cycling each other's air and energy, looking into the calm blue of his eyes. Her body seems to relax.
Switch.
NIrja now sits in front of Liv. She's excited at what she might see in those deep, dark brown portals. She grabs his hands. They get into sync with their breathing when Liv notices something. She suddenly breaks her grip, gets up, and runs out the opening to the ashram. Exterior, field, continued. Liv runs through the gate of the wall that is the only thing separating them from the wilderness around them.
Liv Jai.
She hears her name being called, but she keeps running. She keeps putting as much space as possible between herself and what she just saw. She finds the dirt path at the bottom of the hill and finally starts to slow down. Suddenly, a low growling noise threatens her from the brush to her left. The vegetation is thick and it's dark. She can't see anything. She hears someone's footsteps approaching behind her.
Liv.
She takes a step forward, then back again. She doesn't want to be near him, but she's stuck.
There's something over there.
Something what?
I think it's an animal. A big one.
Slowly get behind me.
Liv moves slowly and carefully behind NIrja, and then waits. Suddenly, in response to her movement, outsteps a leopard from the brush. Liv gasps involuntarily, and her mouth drops open in shock. The leopard is clearly tensing up. NIrja puts his hands out, starting to hum something in deep, off-key tones. He very slowly starts moving toward the animal. Liv is frozen in shock and awe at the same time. The humming gets louder and stronger, until his notes have started to echo across the valley. He walks closer and closer to the leopard. Liv starts to step toward him to grab him, but he sticks one of his hands out behind him, signaling her to stay back. He inches closer and closer toward the animal. It's frozen in its spot, listening to NIrja's song, and almost seeming to be enchanted by it. Its muscles appear to relax a little. Finally, it makes a movement. Liv's eyes open wide in fear, but the animal simply turns around and leaps back into the brush. NIrja turns back to Liv, finally. Without thinking, she jumps into his arms.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
He holds her for a second, then pulls her away from him, holding her arms and looking her in the eye matter-of-factly.
Let's go.
They walk together back toward the ashram.
Not too fast, eh? Not too fast.
He glances over his shoulder.
How'd you do that?
Old technique I learned from my grandfather. Normally, when a leopard comes too close to the ashram, we shoot off guns into the air to scare it away. But in this case, I did not have a gun, and I was too close to her to try and use any scare tactic. She would have pounced.
Her? How do you know it was female?
Well, because song would not have worked if it was a male.
Liv looks at him, eyes and mouth wide open.